In the back, Adam McCall, Denise Lauber. Hello, thank you. So we are here to honor that woman on that TV right now. This is Gail Naylor. Yeah, I could not have timed that picture better. That's fantastic. It's almost as good as you were the one in the at the Christmas party with your face in the dog of the Grinch cutout. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming here tonight to honor my mama, Gail Naylor, in her retirement. We're obviously here tonight to pay respect to a great person who's given of themselves dedication, time, and tireless efforts to the Silver Lake Debate and Forensics program for the last 40 years. Without thought or hesitation, doing the work no one else could do or wanted to do. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Naylor. Seriously, this guy has worked so many concession stands. I'm pretty sure he's convinced that the sentence cologne is football game hot dog. So, and we're in fact here to honor my mom, a dedicated teacher devoted to lifelong education. Mom. We know her by many names: Naylor, Paley, Coach, Gail, but I'll always call her by those first words that Brett and I ever learned. Yes, ma'am. I know some of you are sad or disappointed that Naylor won't be around to teach your kids. Well, I'm here to tell you who's not sad. Your kids. Naylor is the kind of teacher who we admire, like one would admire a drill sergeant. She fills you with fear and you're terrified of her for all 4 years of high school or childhood. But afterward, you realize that she had to break you down to build you back up. And now a moment of silence for those that she forgot to build back up. Thank you. And all you former students know it better than anyone else. You know that it gets better on the other side, after graduation. But to generations of 15-year-olds, room 112, or 12, for those of you who were around before the expansion, has represented a mystical and disturbing place where students enter and finally polished public speakers emerge, probably due to a potion or incantation. All the while, this kindly-faced woman sat behind a desk, commanding her minions, her flying monkeys, her freshmen, to do her bidding, like so many marionettes on a string. What's not to love? You think I'm kidding, but at least half of this room just looked at her as if to say, is it okay to laugh, Naylor? And she did not say yes. It's great to see the turnout here, though. Everyone is so excited to see what Mom's going to do in her retirement. Her friends are happy she's got more time for fun lunches. And her family's glad that she'll have weekends at home. And Tom's happy to have her at K-State home games on Saturday. But happiest of all, the incoming freshman class at Silver Lake High School that will never, ever, ever have to take her class. Guys and gals, go buy a lottery ticket because it's going to run out soon. Your luck is going to fade. Fortune shines brightest on you now, and you're like the last guy on the Titanic who gets pushed away due to overcrowding. You don't know how good you've got it yet. So cherish it. Earn this. Many of you know I'm actually a former competitor at a rival high school. Pam McComas was my coach. While Brett, my brother, decided to compete for Mom at Silver Lake. And I often wonder what kind of person I would have turned out to be had I decided to go to Silver Lake and had Mom as a coach. And then I look at Brett. I stopped wondering. Boy, boy, mighty Troy. Mom's profession has always been a part of our lives, as mentioned earlier. When we were kids, we didn't realize that taking family vacations didn't mean traveling in a group of 25. Generally, the neighbors just kind of tagged along on CFL or NFL Nationals trips, which is how I learned to give my first negative constructive speech before I was on Solid Foods. Little debate humor, folks. That gets about half the crowd here. But I always have great memories from those trips, like the time in San Francisco when Mom and Pam ushered a dozen dreary and tired high school students tired from a day of competing, into an all-night diner called Buddy's or some such nonsense at about 12:30 in the morning.
Big boy.
And I stand corrected. I stand and corrected. And so we walked in about 12:30 in the morning, and upon waiting 30 minutes to have our orders taken and another 30 minutes for our food, the dynamic duo kicked in the kitchen door like cops from a 1970s TV show and berated the 360-pound part-time cook, full-time biker gang member named Cletus or Cleophas or whatever until he was nothing more than a quivering pile of goo in the less than immaculate kitchen floor. That's what memories are made of, folks. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad. But Pam and Mom really are an inseparable duo. Like tar and feathers, sinus pressure and headaches, vinegar and, well, like more vinegar. In fact, I'd like to extend a special thank you to Pam for co-organizing this event with Eric Dillinger, because without Pam, believe it or not, Mom would be considered the nice one. I'm so proud of my mom and the impact she's had on 3 generations of students at Silver Lake. And Mom is an English teacher, so I'm sure she wants me to correct my usage of the term impact, which actually means to crater, when I really should say effect. But I was in fact more referring to the divot that she'd leave in a student's solar plexus after they had displeased her. I've seen her coach football players my size into submission, and I will tell you something, from me to all of you, it is not pretty to see a man cry until there are no more tears left. But I'm excited to see what Mom does in retirement. If it's anything like her teaching days, I imagine Dad's in for a lot of speech critiques, long early morning bus rides, and of course, pokes in the chest. What else is new? All I can say is that I'm glad that they have each other, because no one else could possibly ever intend to put up with each other's never-ending stream of nonsense and falterall. I know Mom and Dad plan to travel now that they've gotten the time. I think that's a great idea, but they better stick to driving, because between Mom's titanium knees and the titanium tower in her back, she's liable to light up airport security like a Christmas tree. And also the TSA is liable to extraordinarily render you to Gitmo until they figure out what you're up to. And given how big your federal file already is, I don't see things going well for you. It's okay. I hear orange is the new black, so. Simmer on that one. The worst part may be that without squad nights and weekend tournaments, Mom may actually be home now, all day, with Tom. I'm not saying things will go badly, but I will just point out that I now know that I can get to their house within 10 minutes, anywhere inside a 15-minute radius, and I've got poison control and speed dial. The one saving grace may be that they have an iPad now, and it gives Brett and I great peace. Much in the same way that when we were little, Mom would squat us in front of television and let us sit there for hours and hours in front of Sesame Street. It was the cheapest babysitter you ever had. I don't fault you, it's a value issue. So Brett and I intend to turn her iPad on, put it in front of her, and just set up Pinterest and walk away for weeks at a time. I think I can get tested with my sister-in-law. That's probably a winning plan. We'll check in on you occasionally. But at least we know you're safe. In all seriousness, no, I love my mama very much, and I couldn't be more proud of her career. And I will now just leave you with a few words that I wrote the day she announced her retirement. And this is in all seriousness, for once. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's finally happened. Meetings have transpired, papers have been signed, initial tears have been shed. My mom, Gail Naylor, is retiring from Silver Lake High School after 40 years of teaching debate, forensics, speech, composition, British literature, and general life lessons, so that she may spend more time with my dad that she loves more than life itself. Among her professional accomplishments, nearly 300 national qualifiers, triple-digit state championships, more than 80 tournaments run, and boatloads of dad's chili served in hospitality lounges. Those poor fools. It was like a punishment. She's provided counsel, guidance, compassion, and help to thousands of students, including this year, when she finally taught a third generation, the grandchild of one of her first students. She's seen numerous superintendents come and go and has outlasted 5 principals. Many have underestimated her, but few have lived to tell the tale of their aired judgment. As she learns to paraphrase, you know what you can tell about an old lady? She's a survivor. I love my mom very much, and I see what an incredible effect she has had on the lives of students. She's propelled them to excel, often to heights that they were born believing unattainable. And she has gently guided outsized expectations back to the plane of the possible. My mom is the educator you tell your children about and hope she holds on long enough to experience themselves. But the day has come in which that's no longer a possibility. I can't tell you everything that deserves to be told about my mom, but I will leave you with a quote of hers that to me exemplifies how she perceives her role in education. Upon being asked about her accomplishments, she responds, "The kids have always made me look good." The kids. The only reason she's poured her heart and soul and being into a mostly thankless job since the Nixon administration. So thank you all, ladies and gentlemen. Please join me in wishing Mrs. Gail Naylor a happy retirement.